When you step on the court, the turf, the field, the track, the water, whatever it is, are you showing up as your whole self? Or are you just showing up as who you think they think you should be? Because this is where it really comes down. This is the difference. Now, I've been working with Olympians, world champions, all sorts of athletes around the globe, and there's a difference. There's the person who totally dominates in their sport. However, they sabotage themselves in other areas of their sport or other areas of their life. So the difference then is the world champions, the ones who get the gold medals, the ones who win the Olympics, the ones who do personal bests and then sustain that for the longer length of time. They show up as their whole true self in everything, because this might sound harsh and it's the truth. Because listen to this. The way we do anything is the way we do everything. So listen to it again. The way we do anything is the way we do everything. Are you showing up in your whole congruence of yourself? Like, are you truly showing up as your true self in every single moment? Or are you leaving some of that with bad sleep habits, bad eating habits? Is it that point of, we say we're disciplined, yet we're pushing the snooze button 5 times. We say we're disciplined, and yet we're letting ourselves off the hook in other areas of our life. That's the first part. So let's look at this. 3 bits here is identity fracture is the first part. So there's this identity fracture where we're incongruent with our true self. We're showing up as one person here, showing up as another person in a different situation. And so what we get to do is to bring that together, because otherwise what happens is it creates cognitive dissonance. And when we look at that from a sports psychology point of view, what we're doing is we're separating who we've been. There's mental friction. We're using up cognitive calories. And we could be saving those cognitive calories from when we're out on the court, the turf, the field, the water, the track, doesn't matter what it is. And so when you show up as your whole true self, there's less friction internally as well. Our top 6 inches isn't trying to go in 2 different directions. What we're doing is we're fully aligned. And it's so much easier to get into flow. You know that state of being in zone? It's bliss. It just feels like everything works so much easier and everything's smoother and faster. We want that as opposed to identity fracture. Because if we're showing up as one person in one situation and showing up as another person in a situation, we've got a fracture happening. And you all know that, being sports people. You know what a fracture is. All right? We've got a separation. What we want to do is have that absolute full alignment. So we want to have that true alignment of who we're showing up as in every single moment. And remember, the way we do anything is the way we do everything. The second part in here is about our micro decisions. Now, we talk about micro decisions of those tiny little ones, because the champions, the Olympians, the ones who are getting the gold medals, the ones who are doing the personal best, the ones who are really implementing at a high level consistently, they are implementing those micro decisions. It's the little tiny tweaks done consistently. That's when it gives us the big results. It's not just the big one-offs every now and again. What we get to do and who we get to show up as is that person with consistency. So it's those micro decisions, it's those tiny decisions that you make consistently. That is the part that has the biggest impact on your performance. It's like, I was working with an athlete and we shifted. So instead of just focusing on the outcome goals, what we did was we switched up what his targets were. So instead of aiming at an outcome goal, what we did was we switched it up and really looked at his weekly, daily implementation of his actions. And then remembering it comes back down to what we're thinking. So what is that target for him? And we shifted it. So instead of I'm going to have this outcome at the end of the year, we shifted it to I am the person. I am the athlete. I am the champion who plays full out at every training. I play full out in my recovery. I play full out in my activities that I do in between. And it's about that discipline. It's about that identity of who we're showing up as in all of those areas. So what we brought it to was him in more of an ability to control the controllables. I am the athlete. I am the world champion who plays full out in my trainings, who plays full out in my recovery and rest times, who plays full out in every other aspect of life. Now that doesn't mean giving 100% of the time. When you're going to rest and recover, that means you rest and recover. When you're putting in those habits in place so you get great sleep, that's what we're talking about here. So instead of just looking at it to improve an outcome, to improve, so for him it was, I want to get more free throws. What does that mean in the first place? Let's bring it into identity, because who I say I am is my truth. Who I say I am and who I show up as, when they're in alignment, my performance increases. And if you want to have that champion level mindset, that's what you get to do too. That's who you get to be, is that person where you're in full alignment. Your micro decisions that you're making every single moment are in alignment with that identity of who you truly choose to be. So when you look at bringing it in, first one, identity fracture. Make sure it's not a fracture. Make sure it's in full alignment. Those micro decisions. Who are you showing up as in every single moment? And the third one is your conscious presence. Are you living consciously, purposefully, and intentionally in this moment here? Or are you drifting off into all sorts of different places? Are you checking in with yourself? Who am I showing up as right here, right now? Who am I showing up as in this training right here, right now? Who am I showing up as I'm learning more about myself right here, right now? Are you taking it on board? Are you implementing it? Or are you just all talk? Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I know that. And do you implement it? Because that's the difference between the champions, the Olympians, and the rest. If you want to be at that high-performing level, if you want to be at that world-class elite level, I'm working with them so I can tell you I know who they are and I know what they do and I know who they show up as. To create that identity and to be it and to live it in every moment. So they don't have that identity fracture. So they do have micro decisions that serve them and that they are living consciously, purposefully, and intentionally at that moment. They have a conscious presence of who they're showing up as. They're optimizing exactly who they're showing up as. They have a conscious presence in this moment to be the best version of themselves. That's what we're after here. Now, if you're really looking to take this next level, ask yourself these 3 questions every now and again. Who am I showing up as right here, right now? Because then you're checking in the moment. Who am I showing up as right here, right now in this moment? Am I aligned with my champion identity? Am I aligned with my champion identity? And what's that tiny tweak I can make right here, right now that would put me in alignment with that champion mindset, that champion identity of who I choose to be? Who am I showing up as right here, right now? Am I aligned with my champion identity? And what is that one tiny tweak that I can make right here, right now to put me in even more alignment with my true champion self? This is what it takes. It's not about being perfect, because imperfect action is the best kind of action to take. And it's about who you're showing up as, your identity, who you say you are. That's your truth, and that's who you will show up as in that moment. Now, if you want to keep taking this kind of thing next level, I have a free live webinar coming up next month. So the end of May coming up, I'm going to keep you up to date with what you can do to be able to sign up and get yourself in there and take your performance next level. So keep checking in, keep using this whole process to make sure you're in alignment, so there's not the identity fracture. So you're making those micro decisions that keep you in alignment of who you're truly heading to as that champion identity, and have that conscious presence. Who are you showing up as right here, right now? Be conscious, purposeful, and intentional, and identify. The way you do anything is the way you do everything.